in it. It's a plan that is going to elevate you. It's a plan that is going to make you. It's a plan that you will see the success in the end. In the beginning may not be what you want. You can't put your fingers around it and you can't wrap yourself around it in the beginning of your life. But hold on, keep going. Help is on the way. Because he didn't say he was going to give you all this in the beginning. He said in the end, get into the latter part of it. Then he will show you what he has in store for you. And always challenge yourself to be the one who brings the change. Stop going around trying to change others when you don't change yourself. If you want to bring a change in the world, please start it from you. Yes, if you want to see a change in the world, may the change begin with you. May you be the pillar of change. May you be the instrument of change. May you be the one that inspire people to change by you changing yourself. When you change yourself, you will see that everything around you is changed. But if you are not changed, you cannot see the change. People want change. Oh, we want things to change. And yet they themselves will never change from all the bad things they've been doing. If you are not changed, who do you want them to change? Huh? You have to be the one that bring the change. Bring the destructive innovation move in any industry that God has blessed you to be involved. All the industries need a change. And the thing is, God is changing everything every day. You go Isaiah, he said, behold, I'm doing a new thing. God has always told us that he is always doing a new thing. So that means God is forever changing things. I don't know why God is changing things every day. And some people still want to stay in 50 years way back. I will never forget that I have a young girl, a young lady one time, and we were supposed to do something, a business transaction. And she came and when we put the proposal together, she told me, oh, can you change this and this and that? And I said, you know what that young lady told me? She said, oh man, why are you still thinking old ways? We can do it in that time my mind has not grown and catch up with where the young lady was. And she was so bold to tell me. When I went home and I'm like, she may be right. She may be right. Maybe easiest way to do this thing, but I'm still dwelling in the past, the way we used to do it in the past. And if you were brought up in other parts of the world, elders are always right and youth are not right. And so therefore we have allowed that mentality has brought setback. In the innovative world we live today, a man of 90 years wants to be the one still controlling the youth that is so vibrant and powerful and moving fast in everything. And so there is a gap between the 90 years and the 21st century people. Be the one that bring the change. Be a trailblazer. Be a pioneer. Be the shaker, taker, and breaker. Be the generation that braves and pave the way for the younger generation to follow. I know I'm a pioneer. I was among the first women in the world that we decided that we are going to break the ice of competing with a man's wealth in terms of preaching the gospel. People look at us that we are rebels because they quote the Bible that they don't even take a breath with their stinking mouth, telling you that God did not allow any woman to speak and it's only men club. And they will blow all these fumes in your face, telling you that you are rebelling against God's rules and you are a rebel. And I remember, men that called me and rebuked me and told me that I need to sit down because I'm not called to teach or lead a group. Many a times I got abused by these men who think they are the only one who have right to teach and preach and to lead organizations on the face of the earth. And yet, I did not give up. Not because I was not ready to listen to their ignorance. And I always tell them, I said, you know what? If you were the one that called me into this ministry, I would have been listening to you in a second and honor you and back off. But unfortunately for you, the one who called me did not see me the way you see me. And so therefore, I will not take your word for answer. I take no from no man. I take yes from God. So you can give me your opinions, but you are right. You have every right to your opinions. But when God called me in the middle of the night, you were not there. And you did not hear what he told me and what he asked me to do. And the price that I have to pay to be where I am. You are not paying any of those prices for me or with me or whatsoever. I have paid a hefty price. I have so much scars in my back to show you that I heard his voice and I didn't hear a man's voice. So because I didn't hear a man's voice, thank you. If you don't want me in your institution, God bless you. In fact, when God called me, he didn't call me to institution. He didn't call me to a church building. He gave me the whole world. He says, look at it. Anywhere you go, you can be there to represent me. Did God was right? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. God was right. God was right. God was right. He gave me the pulpit of the universe, the world, to stand on the pulpit and preach. Look at what is happening. In those days, little pulpit like this and 10 by 4, 10 building that somebody has rented. When you walk in there, they treat you like you are nobody because it is their domain. And God said, don't look at those things. The whole world is waiting for you. I never understood that word. When God keep coming to me in the middle of the night when I've been mistreated, molested, abused, insulted, and I come home and I cry and I ask God, God, did you really call me? Oh, I didn't hear very well. And God will walk to my room in the coolest of the day with all tears has soaked my dress, my pajamas, and I'm lying on my bed crying, sobbing like a baby. And I will hear the hand touch of God in my back. And I will hear him telling me, Beatrice, I didn't call you to a pulpit. I call you to the world. And he will say, don't worry, baby, the world is waiting for you. Come on. talking about a time there was no telephone. You gotta go to post office and pick a phone and call. Or you can make a call any office or telephone to call outside, or even your telephone, you have to pay card to get international call outside. Do you remember those days that we buy card and punch the number in our cell phone or home phone and call abroad? Some of you don't know. Yeah, those era. And we buy the phone card $10, $5 for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and if you want to talk longer, you buy $10 or $15 or $20, and then you punch the number on your phone and then you call. As you talk in the middle of it, the line goes off because your unit is finished. In those days, and God is telling me, hear me, that the world is waiting for you. How? Internet is not everybody's cup of tea. Talk about phone. And yet God used to come to my room and say, Beatrice, don't give up. Believe me, the world is waiting for you. Keep moving forward. The world is waiting. I'm talking about 20 years ago, 20 years ago. 25 years ago, when nothing was materialized anywhere. God keep on coming. When I'm so down and cry my soul out, God will come and put his hand in my shoulder back here. Sometimes he will rub me, and then he will speak to me and say, Beatrice, I didn't call you for a pulpit. I didn't call you for this. I didn't call you for that, depending upon which situation I'm dealing with. And then when he's about to finish talking to me, he will say, don't worry. The world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you. I didn't even know the meaning of that word, the world. The only world I know is where I am. How can the whole world waiting for me? But God keep assured me, don't worry, the world is waiting for you. Today, I can boldly say that yes, God was right. The world is waiting for me. Never thought I would live to wake up one day and there was a disease that killing everybody everywhere in the world, the whole globe. And we all have come together to be one. That was the power of the word of God. When you determine to be the one that brings change and you take no for answer. In my other tips that I've recorded, I talk about wealth. The wealthiest man and wealthiest women. This is my opinion, not anybody else's opinion. This is my view about it. In the world, we have 100% human race. 95% of the human race are the people who are living the full life of them, the full life of what God has made them to be, the full potential of wealth. But if you want to define wealth in the world realm, they will define wealth as somebody who have accumulated a lot of physical properties or personal wealth. Cars, this, that, money and all that. But with my understanding in combination with spiritual values and wealth, which good intelligent scientists, everybody who have studied wealth building and networking and whatnot, they talk about. 95% is the population of the people who are living below anything or pretty much close to poverty level and have not been able to, take the advantage of changing their life into a better life or live to the fullness of what they desire, if they could have achieved in life. And it's only 5% who has discovered the real them and have had a paradigm shift and change their mind, change their mindset into a mind that can achieve whatever they set up to achieve. But I also define it like this, that all these 5% men that have found their way out of the 100% humanity and break off and make impact in their life, and they are impacting the world as we speak now. These people, if you sit each one of them down and interview them and ask them, when do they become wealthy, you will find out that every single one of them, whether a male or a female, will ascribe to the day they discover who they are. And that is what makes me very happy about the message that I'm presenting to you. The day these people, from Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Dangote, name it, all these rich men, wealthy men, billionaires, all these basketball players and baseball players and all these NFL and NBA and all these people who has made impact in this world, every one of them will tell you the day I decided to lead was the day I discovered who I am. If you don't discover who you are, you can never mount up into any leadership role and be successful. So out of 195 people who are not trying to look to discover who they are, they still stay in the bottom part of the bucket. And it's only the 5% who have discovered who they are and change their mindset and take the right way to become what they want to be. And I want you to be one of them today. You must know who you are. That's my next point. You must know who you are. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? And also, I know who I am going to be, or I am to be, or I am to. I know who I am to. I know who I am now. I know who I want to be. You have to have a definite understanding on that language. You have to understand yourself. You have to know that you know that you know that you know yourself. Nobody should know you better than you know yourself. Do not allow anybody to know you to any level they want. You have the right to know only yourself and yourself alone. And you also need to know that when you speak, it is what it is. Nobody should judge you. You must be a man or a woman of your word. Do not Don't try to manipulate yourself. Don't do that. Because there are some people who deceive themselves. They manipulate themselves to do things to others. Do not do that. Be a human being. Have compassion. Have empathy for people. Respect people. Put yourself in people's place. Do unto people as you want them to do unto you. Take the load off of people, other people. Carry it 1 mile with them. Go further with them if you can. Do not be anyone who will bring sorrow and sadness into anybody's life. Refuse to be that individual. Do not ever in your life make your life to cause somebody to cry, to cause somebody to lose hope, to cause somebody to regret being a human being. Never. Don't do that. Do not ever live your life and allow anybody's blood be required on your hands. Try your best to refuse to be that person. Always give a helping hand. Always release blessing. Release peace. Even your enemies, release peace on them. In your closet, you don't do it physically. They do you bad, come into your closet, lock your door, channel yourself into your higher power, which is inside of you. Like I said, take 12 dripping prayer, breathing prayer, 12 breathing prayer. Pray all the negative, breathe in and breathe out all the negative energy that whatever circumstance or situation is generating inside of you. 12 breathe in prayer. Pray, call those things, breathe in and pull it out. And then when you finish the 12 breathings prayer of releasing the negative energy, calm yourself down, put your posture right, internalize yourself, type yourself, go down and meet the I am inside of you, and then call in peace and breathe peace in place of those chaos. You breathe in joy to where there is sadness and sorrow in your spirit. You call those things that are not as though they are. You call them and you breathe them in, because they have to get in there and occupy the places where those negative forces were occupying. And when you do these two exercises, you breathe out the negative force and you bring in the positive force, which is healing. And you will see that when you breathe all those in, it will heal you from cancer, depress, oppress, suppress everything. It will heal you. The positive energy will heal you. There will be one day you wake up when you are in that mode. You can see that from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, you are pure white. You will see the purity of the presence of God in you. You can feel the pureness and the purity of the Spirit inside of you. And you know, you can see and know that there is no a dot of evil inside of you. You are so pure, and your aura will begin. People will see you. People who have third eyes, and all those eyes can see you, that you have dealt with so many stuff in your life. When you do this 12 breathing negative out, 12 breathing negative positive in, 24 breathing prayer, when you do this prayer constantly in your life, you will have a life transformation. There is a big tree, and Allow God's dream for you. It's a big tree. Allow God to dream for you. We always want to dream. And sometimes you dream because you just eat too much food the night before. Those are not dreams that God has for you because of too much intake of Chinese food or whatever food, or maybe you are hungry, you didn't even get a food to eat. You can dreams when you are hungry, and you can dreams when you are full. Which one are you dreaming about? And none of all these dreams will come to pass, honestly. But the dream that can come to pass is the dream that God has for you. So allow God to dream for you and allow him to show you the dreams he has for you. He will reveal it to you, and you will see that it line up with what you have in your spirit 100%. Allow God to dream for you. Dream big. If you want to drive Mercedes-Benz, go for it. Drive it with the sense that it is God who gave it to you. And don't deprive anybody. If you need to bless somebody with something, do it. If you want to buy a jet, do it with the glory of God. A yacht, buy it. Dream big. God will not stop you having all these blessings if you line up, as Proverbs 13:3 said, if you line up your thoughts with God's thoughts, he will prove to you he owns everything. And as a daughter of his, you have every right to enjoy the kingdom benefits. This is what I call God, the kingdom of God benefits. You are entitled for it. Do you have a vision for what you want to do? Have you walked around and see homeless people? Are you dreaming to be an educator? Somebody that you have a vision to educate young people. It could be little boys, little girls, adults, underprivileged adults who didn't have a good education, and you want to devote your time to add value to their life and ask them if they want to come for adult education to even learn how to operate the computer, so the computer will not be intimidation to them. Anything you can do in your power to enhance another person's life and make another person's life easy to live, alleviate pain from other people's life, and add meaningful life to other people, and let your life be a blessing, super blessing, super duper blessing to other people. God sits in the heaven and smile at you, because what he has given to you, you are giving it out. You have a bigger vision that you can expand. You cannot save the whole world. Get me right here. Don't get me wrong. That dream big and do all these things. As you were coming from wherever you came from, you have been assigned to do certain things on earth. Those are the dreams of God for you, that you sign agreement to come and fulfill. So I'm not telling you that you alone can save the whole world. No, that's not the point. You can be the one. God can bless you to have money and establish an institution that can help elderly people. Not to just box them in a place, but a place where they can continue to have adult education to add more into, and maybe doing different things to help mankind. You can do that. You can build multi-purpose, functionable place where children can go and enjoy the rest of the day and take the burden from the parents. As the world is able to control the pandemic. These are the things. See beyond what everyone sees. Like I said, we all have two eyes. But there are some people who has more than two eyes, that they can see things far beyond, years ahead of what is about to happen, which we call them seers. Yes, they do. They do have foresight. They can see far off. They have hindsight. And they have insight. They have sight that can see within the environment where they are. And they also can see things you don't see right now, present, inside of dark places. God has given them the ability, what I call the TD vision. The 3D vision of God. That's foresight, hindsight, insight. In the 3 dimensions of vision, they can see it all. If you are one of those creatures, go ahead, allow yourself to see beyond what everyone sees. See beyond that. And more, come up with an action plan to execute it. When you have all these visions that is in your subconscious, that is coming out, make sure that you sit down and put up an action plan to bring all this vision into fusion and manifest it so people can see the gifts God has given to you. I know so many people who have been operating in this level. It is there, and you can do it. When you begin to move in this kind of direction, it is through these manifestations of God's presence and God's gifts in your life that you find your calling. That's when you find your calling. When you find your voice and you begin to operate within your voice and dream dreams and begin to bring the things God has put in your spirit, your subconscious, and it begin to prick you, and you begin to see it beyond what everyone sees, and you begin to call those things are not as though they are. You call them from the realm of the spirit and bring it to the natural. Then you begin to find your calling.